Like the others, I've had a 40-year relationship with Lou. Our connection was through cross-country track and field. And during that 40 years, our sports have enjoyed quite a bit of growth and improvement from where we were in the 70s when Lou really began to get involved, and by the end of the 70s had emerged as the meet director for the spring programs. I might be repetitive on some of the things already said, because yes, we were travel companions across the United States to meets and other activities. We were officiating partners, obviously, for many, many years. Lou served as my mentor as AD, and he called me the day before the first AD's meeting that I was going to attend, and he said to me, "Church, whatever you do, keep your mouth shut." I guess some people might think I'm opinionated. The other night, we worked the meet on Monday, and naturally after the meet, as we gathered together, as we often do, we were talking about Lou. And I'm often noted as the more serious of our group. I don't know why, but for you people who are older, I'm sure the young people wouldn't remember, but many years ago there was a pretty good movie on Grumpy Old Men. And we sat around trying to argue who was going to be Jack Lemmon and who could be Walter Matthau. And obviously, Lou is Jack Lemmon. And I, unfortunately, am Walter Matthau. Well, what's significant about that, in our relationship, I don't know if the Ramsey people appreciate that with all the very nice things that we can say about Lou, that he had a stubborn streak about him. And I have a stubborn streak. And sometimes we'd be at a meeting, planning a track meet or a program, and all of a sudden we'd be screaming at each other. And I don't mean talking loud, I mean screaming at each other. And using language that I'm not using right now. And probably I would use the worst language, I admit. And I remember a year ago was the last time, just about a year ago this time we had a meeting, and Lou and I got into a pretty protracted argument at the meeting, going home in the car, pulled up in front of my house, dropped me off. All right, Louis, you know, it was like when I opened the door, everything had stopped. I relayed this to my wife. She was very worried that our friendship would be tarnished. I tried to explain to her, this is how we do business. And this is the way we are, and it had nothing to do with feelings and our like and love for each other. There were no grudges, there were no hard feelings. It's the way we communicated, unfortunately or fortunately. What I'm very grateful for, that Lou gave both of my sons opportunities to coach. My oldest son was a coach at Ramsey High School, his first paid coaching job. My youngest son officiated with Lou for many years, and I know that how important he was in their lives. Tom, Brian mentioned the county track championships. When Lou became meet director, the best thing I could say about the county championships that they were disorganized and chaotic. And as they mentioned how big and important these championships have become, thousands of young people in those following years have had a tremendous athletic experience, and it was through Lou's leadership, his collegial leadership. It's interesting how Tom mentioned about how he would tell coaches no, and then we turn around 2 days later and have a meeting about what the coaches requested. And often it was to promote and provide a better meet, a better experience. And he did that. Last week, last Wednesday. We worked in New York. And I took the opportunity. My son was there with his team from South Jersey. And I introduced my son to one of Ramsey's coaches who was working at the meet Corinne's desk. And introduced them. They hadn't met before. And Lou was there, and they shared a couple of Ramsey stories, the two coaches. And Lou talked with both of them. And you can see the joy in Lou's face as he looked at these two young people whose lives he impacted so greatly. The meet was ending. Lou was bringing the Ramsey crew back here. I was going back with the crew to Hackensack, and we shook hands. At the end of the meet, we always shook hands. Said, I'll see you tomorrow. And on Thursday and Friday, we talked several times after that on the phone about various things. I know for all of us, Lou's passing leaves a great boy. But also for all of us, all of these wonderful things you've heard this morning will be with us forever.